All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Now, excuse me. These next 20 videos are going to be dandies. So what's going to happen is this first video, I'm just going to kind of set the tone. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the deposition on my federal fraud lawsuit against Alfonso Knoll and Active World Club and Active World Holdings. And we're going to dive deep into a $10 million crypto scam. Now, obviously, everything's not going to be done in this video. As you can see on the deposition, it is 148 pages long. That does not include the financials that I have showing where all the money went. Money came in, money came out, who was paid on the under, who was paid on the low. So that will not be in this video, but it will come in due time. Emails, text messages between other project CEOs that were part of the club that we now know was a scam, but I have all of that. Y'all already know. I kept all my receipts. And then we're going to I'm just going to kind of layer this back so y'all can understand how this started, how it grew, how it turned into a scam, how I was scammed, how you were scammed, how everybody was scammed, and just all the Twitter AMAs were scams. And I'll get into it. I need to stay focused on the deposition itself. But as I go through the deposition, I will get sidetracked based on what I'm reading. And I'm going to kind of narrate this. Just so you know, I will be getting the video recording of the deposition. So, you know, you can't say, well, MWC, this is just your story. Of course it is, because I won. That's the perks of being me. I have all the leverage. And then, like I said, we'll get into, all the other scams, the sale of the exchange, NSAV, DivinciPay, GivBux. I got all the dirt on all of those, but I'm not going to unload on that this second. We're going to stay focused on the deposition. So how did we get to this part in the court case before we were going to go to trial? It's because I knew Alfonso was lying. And I think the majority of y'all already knew that I knew, which is why we did all of this. Because I knew if we put him under deposition, I knew he would lie under oath. And as we will see, he did, which is I'm not going to get into it again. I always get sidetracked, but this lawsuit that I won is just the beginning. There's going to be more entertainment coming soon. I'll just put it to you that way. And I have my buddies right here, almost all 200,000 of them, ready to fund it. Right, Alfonso? And I know he gets mad. He's like, oh, man, I should have never done business with Scott and MWC. And the thing is if you didn't, you wouldn't have been able to collect the $10 million that I'm about to show everybody. So in reality, you needed me to fund your scam because, as we will see in the deposition, the club was mine anyways. So let me remove all this money because I'm done flexing. I know these are big stacks for the majority of y'all. Y'all probably never seen them in your life. I get it. And according to what I know, Alfonso, you sure could use some of this money, don't you? All those foreclosures you're looking at. Anyways, so let me stay focused again. So the deposition, like I said, we cornered him, and this is basically before we were going to go to trial. And as we now know, he did not go to trial. He ended up settling and then bailed on the settlement because he knew he was not going to go to trial because he did not want to face a jury. Because in front of a jury, he would have got smoked. And he knows it, which is why he ran, and he didn't even answer. And he just basically ran off into the woods and, you know, for lack of a better term, he pussied out. You know, he didn't want to continue fighting in court. And that's what kind of the federal courts are for, right? Is to prove your case. You got to prove it. And instead of proving his innocence, he just ran and got a guilty verdict. So now I'm going to kind of do a play-by-play. This is going to be interesting because I'm going to read it from the perspective of my attorneys who are reading the questions to Alfonso, and Alfonso is in front of his attorney, babysitting him basically at the end of the day. Now, like I said, the courts do have the video not accessible right now, but I forgot the date on when they will release the actual video of the deposition. But whenever that is, you know, I'm going to get it and I'll upload that shit, and y'all can actually watch the entertainment. So let me go start. I'm not going to skip anything. So that's why this is going to be, you know, 10, 15 videos long, because I don't want anybody to say, well, MWC, you skipped 2 pages, man. I mean, Alfonso could have been innocent in those 2 pages. I'm going to, even though it gets boring at times, I'm going to read it just so all you brokies can't say anything. I get it. It costs money to play this game. That's why y'all are still crying. Because your $500 is tied up. All right, moving on. So here we go. First page, it just kind of goes over United States District Court, Eastern District of Pennsylvania. Me versus AWC and Alfonso Knoll. As we now know, I'll get into that. AW Holdings, Active World Holdings, and AWC is basically Alfonso Knoll. Like I said, we'll get into that. Videotape, video conference, a deposition of Alfonso Knoll. You can read it right here. It shows the company who did the litigation recording. All parties participating via video conference on Friday, August 4, 2023, commencing at 9 a.m. by this lady right here, registered professional reporter and notary public, and Chris Weiss Calhoun, videographer. I guess this is just all the formalities, right? Appearances, here's my lawyers. At the time, I have new lawyers now. And here's his dipshit attorney, George Lutz. And also present, I was on the call. Witnesses, my attorneys, and Alfonso's attorneys. The operator, my name is Chris Weiss Calhoun, certified legal videographer, retained by On the Record. This is a video deposition for the United States District Court, Eastern District of Pennsylvania. Today's date is August 4th, 2023. Y'all can get over this. The time, I'm just going to kind of skip to this. The time is 9:04, blah, blah, blah. Will the attorneys please state their appearance for the record? Mr. Hendershot, Simon Trey Hendershot, on behalf of Scott Bean. Mr. Lutz, George Lutz, for the defendants, Alfonso Knoll and Active World Holdings and AWC. The operator, okay. And the court reporter today is Marcy Janowski and will now administer the oath. Alfonso Knoll, having been duly sworn, was examined and testifies as follows, blah, blah, blah. Examination, Mr. Hendershot. All right, here we go. Now it started. These are the intros, but I'm not going to skip anything, and we're just going to go from there. I'm going to get in as far as I want to get in on this video, and then I'll just kind of continue as we move forward. And like I said, I will get sidetracked depending on where we're at in the deposition, because explanations need to be made based off what you are just reading, and therefore y'all can kind of put together this scam. And then you'll see why I'm going to, my next moves, and I'll unload all that in due time. Mr. Knoll, will you please state your full name for the record? Alfonso. So the cues are the questions for those of you who are stupid. and the A's are the answers. Obviously, my attorney is asking the questions, and Alfonso is answering them. Scared, by the way. Boy, he looked like a freaking, boy, he was nervous as hell. But it was fun to watch. I ain't gonna lie. Mr. Knoll, will you please state your full name for the record? Alfonso says Alfonso C. Knoll. Mr. Knoll, what is your date of birth? January 13th, 1975. So the dude is like 1 year older than me, and he looks like he's 70. I mean, it's, man, when you're scamming people out of millions and millions of dollars, man, it'll rough you up a little bit, man. Where do you currently reside? 124 Huntsinger Road in Warnersville, PA. And you understand the court reporter has just sworn you to tell the truth in this matter, so you're testifying today under the same pains and penalties of perjury as if you were testifying in front of the judge in the courtroom. Do you understand? Alfonso says, I do. Have you ever given your deposition before, sir? I have. So let's stop right here. I mean, dude, I haven't even gotten through the first page, and we already have issues. So Alfonso's already been under deposition. That's interesting. Because, you know, when all of this started, we were under the assumption that he was clean and clear and was a multi-million-dollar venture capitalist, him and Bo Kelly. They ran multiple companies, multi-million-dollar companies. That's what we were told. We will show otherwise. But the fact that he's given other depositions, it almost makes it sound like he's a professional at being sued. Right, Alfonso? By the way, there are 5 other judgments against Alfonso and Active World Holdings, and I'll get into all that, and we'll break it down and all the money that he owes people. But trust him to run the exchange. All right. Have you ever given your deposition before, sir? I have. How many times? I think once or twice. Once? I think once or twice. You don't know? You don't know once or twice. Come on, Alfonso, you know. And can you tell me what type of cases those were? One was I guess it was a wrongful, dude, this is off the rip. One was I guess it was a wrongful death case regarding a property that we owned. Somebody died on it. Really, Alfonso? So you don't remember giving a deposition, and now you're saying, well, I think we had somebody die on one of our properties, but man, I just don't remember. Were they murdered, Alfonso? I think, you know, that's the problem. See, the investors, nobody knew all of this. Unfortunately, neither did I, but it came out during the deposition. So it just kind of, you know, that's when everything was like, oh shit, the dude's he's just a professional scammer. That's all he does. And off the rip under deposition, I mean, the dude's got somebody freaking croaking in his properties. Second, and then question, we said, okay. And the other, and Alfonso says, and the other was some drunk driving nonsense where somebody left our bar and with three others and sued us. So we have just started the deposition, and now Alfonso is already talking about death, murder, and drunk driving nonsense. It's just nonsense, everybody. It's just drunk driving. It's okay, man. I mean, this is just the life I live, man. This is how I am off of Discord, Telegram, and Twitter. But this is the real Alfonso. Insane, dude. Absolutely insane how fucked up this guy is. Anyway. Okay, question. RK, have you been involved in any other litigation other than those 2 cases and this particular case that we're taking the deposition in today? Yes, he answered. Now, Alfonso, you know that's a lie. You know it's a lie because I already have the other litigations that were brought against you before we even filed this, before we even did this deposition. And you know I got it. So that's perjury there. So remember, we knew some of this. We didn't know all of it, obviously. But I knew when he answered that, yes, he was lying. So that's just perjury, and it's cool. Like, I'll handle this down the road. But that's lie number 4 already, and we're just not even, I haven't even started getting into the, I mean, dude, we're on page 6 of 148. But anyway, he answered yes. Can you tell me how many other cases you've been involved in? Gosh. I can't remember off the top of my head, maybe 2 or 3 throughout the course of business. 2 or 3. 2 or 3. Sure, buddy. Lie again. Okay. And can you, let's take the first one of those that you can recall. Remember, Alfonso's sitting there like, he's looking up, rolling his eyeballs and shit. What was the nature of that litigation? Well, I guess there was one case where we were, I think, and again, this is over a decade ago, probably or more. I think we were litigating over patents in a dispute that we had with one of our holdings and an individual who we had a disagreement with. Sure, Alfonso. I see a pattern here. Another was with Octagon Capital case, which involved a bridge loan. More loans. We'll get to that later. That we had made to a gentleman by the name of John Sabo for $250,000 that spiraled into nonsense. And so I guess that was involving investment that his partner made in our pellet company as an attempt to pay his debt. So it was a cluster, but you know. So look, that's Alfonso talk. You know, he's basically saying, it's everybody else's fault, everybody. They're all coming after me, man. I have done nothing wrong. But just disregard all of the judgments against me. The courts are against me. It's all a scam against Alfonso. Right? How did that case finally resolve? Alfonso answered, settlement. And when was that case? I can't remember. I can't remember. I don't know. I mean, this shit happens so often. I just get them lost. Where did it take place? It was, where did it take place? Octagon was, it was federal. So, we were all over the country, and Octagon might have been, are you talking about the deposition, or are you talking about? This is how it started, folks. Off the rip, we jammed them up. And so, like I said, when y'all see the videos, he's scared. He's fucking stuttering. As you can tell, he can't even complete his sentences. So this is the complete opposite. This is the real Alfonso, the scammer, the one that has, all these federal lawsuits against him, with more coming, by the way. Some might be criminal. He just can't complete a sentence. But man, when he's on Twitter and on that Discord, he's a smooth motherfucking talker, boy. But you jam these scammers up, and this is what it looks like. Where was that lawsuit pending, my attorney asked. Oh, I'm not really sure, to tell you the truth. I don't remember. So you don't remember these $1 million judgments against you. You just don't remember them. I forgot, man. I've been so busy driving your Lambos and Ferraris. Good God. All the real estate that I bought with your money. Jesus Christ, how am I supposed to remember what went on 10 years ago? Just people dying and murdered and drunk driving and shit. I don't know, man. My life is just complete chaos. My attorney asked, okay, David, that's his attorney. That's my attorney. If you'll pull up Exhibit 1. So at this moment in time, we're pulling up exhibits on on the call, so he can see them and we can see them, and you're not going to see them on here because they're just not on this deposition. But I'll go over those depositions. The exhibits. Mr. Knoll, can you see on the screen that David is utilizing the share my screen and see the plaintiff's third amended notice of deposition of active world holdings? Alfonso says, I'm sorry, what? What? Excuse me? What? I mean, I'm Alfonso Knoll. I mean, I was an attorney. I've ran multi-million-dollar companies, and I'm a successful venture capitalist, but I have no idea what you're talking about. Mr. Lutz, can you see that? We're talking to his attorney now. Yes. Have you ever seen this document before? And Alfonso says, I assume so. Oh, it was funny. Okay. And we sent a hard copy and this is my attorney. Okay. And we sent a hard copy and electronic copy of all the exhibits to your attorney. And so it looked like you were turning through them. So if you'll look at exhibit number 1 in the packet of exhibits, please. Do you have that in front of you? Alfonso says, I do. So, right now, Alfonso's thumbing through all these documents and he's like fumbling and shit. And the attorney doesn't know. Like, they don't know shit, right? So we have to kind of guide them. It was kind of pathetic. And see, the thing is, I can narrate this on my end because Alfonso's not going to be able to rebut this because he knows. He just knows. That's why I like being in my position of authority and power, because none of this stuff is made up. He'll have to file another lawsuit against me and lose that one. Anyway, I do. And this is the deposition notice for the corporate representative of Active World Holdings, Inc. And I understand you're the individual that has been named as that corporate representative. Do you understand that? Alfonso says, I do. My attorney's question. And if you look at page 3 of Exhibit 1, it says Exhibit 1 on there, and there are 15 items listed. I'm going to ask you to take a moment to go through those 15 items and tell me if there's any item listed on there that there may be someone other than you that has more knowledge of that particular descriptive item. Alfonso says, sure, all right. I've read it and know I'm the person that you would want to ask these questions to. And boy, were we glad he said that. Because when he answered that, it left us to just focus in on him, because we knew once he answered that, it was all on him. He's going to have to fall on the blade for everybody. All these other scams that they launch, he's going to have to take the fall for all of them. Because, I mean, basically, we'll get into it. Okay, thank you, my attorney says. Do you understand what the basis of this lawsuit is about? And Alfonso says, yes, extortion. So, off the rip, he doesn't know anything about a murder or death. He doesn't know anything about drunk driving. He doesn't know anything about his other previous lawsuits. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't remember being under deposition. He says he's only done it 1 or 2, 3 times. He doesn't know. It's just, it's whatever. But when we ask him what this lawsuit is about, he says, yeah, extortion. Now, Alfonso, you know better. As a matter of fact, you filed a countersuit against me and you lost. Now, your counter, we'll get into that. I'll get into that. I want to get sideways right now. So Alfonso just thinks I was extorting him, which is why I filed the lawsuit. No, motherfucker, you stole about $2 million. That's what you did. So, do you understand that there were certain agreements that you signed with Scott? Do you understand that? I do. So, what does that mean in lawyer speak? It means, Alfonso, if you thought my client was trying to extort you, then why did you reach out to him back in 2017 and sign the initial agreement that me paid for? Who created the club? I did. Who paid for it? I did. But yet now I'm trying to extort him. That's interesting. Sounds like defamation to me, Alfonso, accusing me of trying to extort you. Man, that might be a nice little new lawsuit. Do you believe that Mr. Bean is owed any amount of money under those agreements? I do not. That's what Alfonso said. I do not. He doesn't deserve shit. And can you tell me why not, my attorney asked Alfonso? Because he, in the first agreements, even the token to purchase agreement, had a non-disparagement clause which he violated immediately and caused all kinds of damage to our company, to our members, and to everybody involved from the get-go. So even just the derivative agreement from all the other things, settlement and everything else, I believe that he violated all of that and he broke the contract. Additionally, he didn't pay for anything for the tokens that he put into the token purchase agreement. So, that's been my stance. Again, we have more lies and slander and defamation here. So look, my next journey with this dipshit is going to be, he thought this was rough. It's really going to be rough. He didn't pay for anything. Interesting. Okay, we'll get to that. Any other reason that you believe that he is not entitled to payment under each of those agreements? Alfonso answered, yes. I mean, just continued disparagement, continue to speak, continue to break the clauses of the agreements, the way that he got the tokens to begin with. Motherfucker, you sent them to me because I paid for them. That's why I had them. Anyway, we knew that. It's just this is what Alfonso does. He likes to try to get everything sideways. I mean, that's why it took 13 months in court. Talk to me about that, my attorney asked. The way that he got the tokens to begin with. What's your concern about that? So let me backpedal on that. I'm going to tell a story. And everything that I'm going to say on these videos is going to be nothing but fact. As a matter of fact, if Alfonso and anybody else thinks that I'm lying and making shit up, you're more than welcome to file a lawsuit. I am more than willing to play the game again in court. But I have a feeling that nobody's going to do that. Anyway. So let's talk about the beginning, how he got the tokens to begin with. Now, I'm not going to go way, way back on this. I will eventually when we get to those documents. But let's just start the beginning on when I had made my millions on a previous cash out, and Alfonso comes calling my phone. Scott, congratulations, buddy. You want to open up the club now? And I said, sure, why not, man? I got a bunch of other homies that made millions too. We can fund this and get it going. Alfonso's like this. Oh, yeah, I got him. So the club was created. And then at that time, I had owned 33% of all the token supply. Right, Alfonso? You gave it to me. You sent them to me. I didn't take them from you. You gave them to me. And then the club was launched and you started coming live on my live streams and you were, talking about you were a VC guy and you were multi-millionaire, and everybody was buying into your shit, including me. But the problem was you really didn't have the money, did you? And we're going to get into that too because I have the financials, right? Right. Anyway. But the issue was the reason why we got to the token purchase agreement was because you knew I was a loudmouth, right? And I agree with that, man. Motherfucker, I am. Because you fucking with my money. Don't you get it? So I'm not like all the other crypto investors where they get scammed, they just run off to the sunset. Nah, bitch. You owed me millions of dollars. Did you think that I was just going to turn around and walk away? No, dude, it's not how this works. So everybody started kind of flooding in the Discord and we were building the community. This is from this very start. And everybody starts whining because they started crying and they're like, well, Scott owns 30% of the supply. And I mean, he can dump his tokens whenever he wants. That's kind of how everybody acts. But y'all know that's how crypto investors act anyway. And I was openly about it. I said, yeah, motherfucker, I do own them. Because I created this monster. I did. So yeah, I own 30% of the token supply. And at the time, it was worth like $6, $7, $8 million. So Alfonso came to me. This is when everything was cool still. And he said, hey, man, well, no, actually, okay. He didn't. I went to him. But this is after months and months and months of him starting to kind of screw everybody. Y'all, I think y'all remember back in the beginning, there was always delays. It's coming. The exchange. We're going to have our own exchange, our own wallet, the metaverse. I mean, y'all, the stories, right? We know the stories. So I said, look, dude, I can't be a part of this shit. My name's on it. Buy me out. And he agreed. That's a token purchase agreement. He bought my position out. So I sent him all of my holdings, and in return, I sold them for $1.4 million, which he did not pay. And that's why we're here. So that's it. And then look, it's just these are just bold-faced lies right here, and we'll get into that. And that's why I'm just going to keep this dude in court. I mean, I'm just going to constantly keep this motherfucker under lawsuits because he's just straight up lying. Well, first of all, question, talk to me about that. The way that he got those tokens to begin with, what's your concern about that? Alfonso answers, well, first of all, he didn't pay anything for those tokens. You know better. Receipts. There's one thing I'm good about. I keep my receipts, which is why you've never been able to produce any receipts on your own, Alfonso. You know, the main thing, that's the main thing. The main thing is that Mr. Bean has only a total of, since we started in 2018, a total of $5,000 invested when he paid us to actually build a token for him. And from 2018, or he started with the blackmail email and the extortion email, which he still has not produced to this day. Where is it? That I sent to you guys in Discovery and then forced us to give him tokens, through those various communications, all of which you have. No, I mean, the judge, the courts didn't see any extortion. They didn't see any blackmail, did they, Alfonso? You didn't even argue your case. You ran like a bitch because you knew that if we went to trial, you were going to get smoked because you didn't, none of this even existed. Question, my attorney says, is there any, strike that. Can you tell me what amount of money Scott Bean in your position was required to pay that he hasn't paid, if anything? Alfonso says, are you talking about the 2018 contract, which I have, by the way? I will share that, but I want to get through this first. So everything that's in here, I have receipts for it. Sure, let's start there. Answer, okay, the 2000 contract was for $15,000 to create a token for him. Just not true. That's just, it's another lie under oath. It's perjury. I get it. It was for the club. That's what the $15,000 was for. The creation of AWC or AWB, which is Active World Bits, to create a token for him. And he did a chargeback, not true, on 5K of that and never paid the other 5. So there's 5 million or so, 5,000 total that he paid when he broke the contract. So it doesn't even add up. He's saying there's a $15,000 contract. I charged back 5 and never paid 5. I mean, the dude was lost already. I mean, like I said, he was discombobulated from the start. We continued to build the token, but, just fielded his threats and so forth throughout those years. So again, let's get this straight. So as you can see, he's trying to reverse all this and muddy the waters up, and that's just what he's good at doing. So the question is, from the lawyer side is, he just said we continued to build the token, but just fielded his threats and so forth. What? Okay, hold on. That doesn't make any sense. Wait a minute. Did I pay you or did I not pay you? If I didn't pay you, then why did you work for free? On top of these threats. Doesn't make any sense. Just another lie, which you cannot prove, and you didn't prove. Question, David, this is my other attorney. If you'll pull up Exhibit 7, please. Mr. Knoll, I think you have also the exhibits in front of you. So while David is pulling that up, if you Alfonso says, I don't. I only have it when it's handed to me. And at this point, he's getting aggravated, he's bitching at his attorney and shit. And it was just kind of funny. Mr. Lutz, you do now, right? Yeah. And then my attorney asked, sir, we've got what's been marked as Exhibit 7 up on the screen, and you should have a hard copy of that from your attorney. Do you recognize this document? I do. What is this? This is the token purchase agreement, which I just kind of went over. On page 5 of this agreement, is that your signature? Sir, it is. And then on page 1, 2, 3, and 4, is that are those your initials in the lower right-hand corner? They are. It appears to be. It's a copy. He likes doing that kind of stuff. What, if anything, was Scott Bean supposed to have done under this agreement that you contend that he did not do? And I'll go over the agreement just so y'all all see what the agreement said, how it was written, and all that stuff. That way it's just, when you watch my videos, it's not, well, it is me. I won anyway, so it's true. On page 4, section 8, Alfonso answered. On page 4, section 8, the non-disparagement clause. Okay, so he was hung up on this non-disparagement shit, and he never showed any proof to the court that he even had it. He didn't even have a fucking email. Even though he lied and said that he had all this stuff. He didn't have shit. He did not abide by the non-disparagement clause. It says that each party hereto covenants and agrees that it shall not engage in any pattern or conduct that involves the making or publishing of written or oral statements or remarks, including without limitation, the repetition or distribution of derogatory rumors, allegations, negative reports, or comments, which are disparaging, deleterious, whatever, ridiculing, otherwise defamatory, and damaging to the integrity or reputation, goodwill of the other parties hereto, or any business, family members, friends, or any other agents of any of the foregoing. And he did violate that which is. Damn, I'm almost out of water. I'm going to wrap this up. I don't want to get too deep, but this shit's getting kind of fun. Question, can you tell me the dates which you believe he violated that? So look, we answered him. We asked him a direct question. Do you have the dates? Do you have anything? I don't have them in front of me. They are in the discovery. We have the screenshots. So is it in your contention that each and every disparaging remark or remark that you allege was disparaging has been produced to us through the discovery that we have to date? So basically what that means is we're asking him under oath, is what we have, my lawyers, what you sent to us, what you got. Is that your proof? And that's the reason why we ask all this stuff, because when he says yes, then that means we got him, because he didn't send shit. See how this works out? Just more perjury. I mean, we're 13 pages in and he still hasn't even told the truth. The answer, the stuff that I have my hands on, that I could get my hands on, so I can't make that statement. So here's Alfonso telling under oath my attorney, well, I mean, I just gave you what I gave you. I mean, it's all I can get my hands on. I mean, there's potentially other stuff on the internet, but I just don't know. I mean, I need more time to make shit up. This guy sits on the internet all day making all kinds of disparaging remarks. Every day, motherfucker, I was fucking with you like once a week. And you know it. Every day. I'm making money, dude. I'm not. This sideshow with you is just fun for me now. And it's torture for you. And it's going to get worse. I mean, for the past year, it's been almost a daily occurrence of really harassment. Well, then why didn't you call the fucking cops? Alfonso, why didn't you do anything? If it was so bad and so miserable, why didn't you file a lawsuit? I know why. Because it was just a figment of your imagination. Just like all the tokens were. Just like all the scams. It was just a scam. and y'all still continue to scam. We'll get into that later. So, Mr. Knoll, you filed a counterclaim in this lawsuit alleging disparagement, and I want to make sure that we got the entire universe of the items which you intend to utilize as evidence to contend how the disparaging remarks were made. And so I'm going to ask you again, is there anything that you're aware of that has not been produced which you contend was a disparaging remark from me? And Alfonso answered, I'm going to again tell you that I can't possibly have all that information at my fingertips. Dude, this is 10 months into the lawsuit. You're telling me that if I was online every day running my mouth, you didn't save anything? It's because you didn't have anything. That's the reason. Even though what you did during this time, and I have, the thing is, I have those receipts. Remember when you were in Discord and Telegram telling everybody, hey, this guy didn't pay me a dime. He's mooching off of us. He hasn't done shit. I have all that. That is disparagement, because what you were doing is you were trying to run my name through the mud to my boys who invested millions in your scam, because you knew that I was on your fucking ass with my lawsuit, so you had to do it. It's not, look, I don't expect scammers to just come out to the community and say, yes, it was a scam, everybody. No, they're not going to do that. They're going to do this. They're never going to admit to anything. That's why we have to continue doing this. And it's just going to get worse. There's going to be more of this stuff going public. And I have the money to do it. And they don't. Right, Alfonso? I'm going to again tell you that I can't possibly have all that information at my fingertips, and that he continues, to put this stuff out there, and we're still researching and pulling information as it comes in. So I can't tell you that I have everything. I mean, everything that I had at the time to be able to deliver, yes. Will more things be found on the internet? Possibly. Wait a minute. Is it possibly, or is it yes? Is it I don't know, or is it yes, or is it no? God damn, man, make up your mind, dude. That's why you fucking ran, because you knew we had you. In exhibit number 7, I'm going to wrap this up. In exhibit number 7, under the recitals, it references 4 tokens with respect to each of those tokens. Were they delivered to my client, to Active World Holdings, pursuant to this token purchase agreement? Alfonso says these tokens were delivered. Yes. Did they have value at the time they were delivered? Yes. Fraud, fraud, fraud. They did not. More perjury. There was no liquidity. As a matter of fact, Alfonso, you pocketed the money, and we're going to get into that when I dump your financials. Every token that the club launched, and now the transition to NSAV, all of those tokens that are launching, they keep that liquidity. That's why you can't sell shit, because they took that money and they kept it. So there is no value, even though he likes to think that there was a value. That's why we asked, did they have a value of $1.4 million? Alfonso says, I would have to take a look. I mean, I don't know what the market was. What? This is Alfonso, everybody, in the middle of a deposition. The multi-million-dollar venture capitalist, the fucking brainiac of the Active World Club. And now all of a sudden he doesn't know the market. Interesting. He doesn't even know the value of his own tokens. He does. He just lied again. I mean, Alfonso, I'm going to fuck you up again. So just get ready. But this is fun. I would have to take a look. I mean, I don't know the market. I mean, oh my God. Sir, my lawyer says, sir, I'm going to direct your attention to page 1 of Exhibit 7, paragraph 1. Do you see that in front of you? Alfonso says, yes. Do you agree that the purchase price for the tokens that you have said were delivered was $1.4 million? I agree that the purchase price was, yes. That wasn't the question, though. Alfonso was being a little smart ass at this point because he was pissed. Well, what was the question I asked? My attorney asked, do you agree that the purchase price in the token purchase agreement that you signed was $1.4 million. Do I need to repeat the question, sir? Alfonso, I said yes. That's how he answered it. I said yes, motherfucker. Listen to me. I'm Alfonso. No, you don't question me. Mr. Lutz, he said yes. So now his attorney's getting into it and shit. Mine are just rocking his fucking boots off. By Mr. Henshaw. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. So you do agree that the purchase price for the tokens that you have admitted that were delivered was for $1.4 million. Yes, he answered yes. Holy shit, we got him to fucking answer. After we had to repeat it 3 times. Fucking idiot. Question, how much of that $1.4 million was paid to my client? Alfonso answers, I don't have the full monthly payments. He had requested that it be paid over monthly payment, which is true. That's like the only thing he told the truth on. To the best of your knowledge, how much was paid? Alfonso's answers, I don't know. It's in the discovery somewhere. I don't know. I don't know shit. Quit asking me questions. I don't know anything. I don't know how many times I've been sued. I don't know about the death or the murder. I don't know about drunk driving. I don't know about investment. I don't know shit about shit. It was something. Scott said something and fucking A. It's in the discovery somewhere. Don't you know? That's what Alfonso, that's what he does. Then we ask, would that be reflected in the First National Bank statements that you provided in connection with the request for production in this litigation? That would be his financials, which I have. Yeah, the stuff like, this is Alfonso. Yeah, the stuff like, yeah, like I said, in the discovery, yes. Would it be reflected in any documents other than the bank statements from First National Bank? Yes, we gave you a screenshot of what was delivered on him in USDT as well. So between that screenshot and the bank statements from First National Bank, we have the entire universe, if you will, of all of the evidence of all of the payments that were made to Scott pursuant to the token purchase agreement. Yes. No, now, naughty boy. How did you and Scott? Now, we'll question this. I'm gonna end it after this one, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. The party has just started, everybody. How did you and Scott first become acquainted? I met him when he had a credit business listed for sale. Sir, I'm going to direct your attention to exhibit number 2. Can you identify this document? So let's go back here. So that's how I met Alfonso. So he came to me. That's how we met. He came to me, right, Alfonso? You came to me because I had a tech firm for sale and you wanted to buy it. Correct? Correct. But you did not buy it. Why is that? Because you had no fucking money. You remember those conversations when you kept wasting my time? And I said, dude, if you ain't got $4 million to buy my company, get the fuck out. And then you went away. And then you called me back and said, hey, can we do something different? And then we got into crypto, right? Remember that? Because you had no history in crypto. Zero. But I did. Yeah. That's the truth of the great Alfonso Knoll. He was nothing but a bitch boy back in 2018 when he and I met. Because he came to me. Wasn't the other way around. So he likes to portray that and say, oh my God, Scott needed me. No, motherfucker, you came to me. I'm the one that had the business. I'm the one that had the money. You didn't have shit. And now we know you still don't have shit. I still have all the money. And I'm going to keep fucking with you because I can afford to do it. Sir, I'm going to direct your attention to exhibit number 2. Can you identify this document? Yep, that's the original token purchase or the original token creation agreement that we executed after we had met. Yep. Who prepared this document? That's what my attorney asked him. Alfonso says, I think I did. Then my attorney asked him, and did you intend for my client to rely upon the statements that were made in this document? Alfonso answers, yes. I mean, of course. Well, yeah, we all did. Yeah. Now, I'm going to end this, but I'm going to talk about that. And then, like I said, I do have that agreement, and I'll show it on another video. This was the original white paper for Active World Club, dated in 18 was one of those years. I funded it. We were supposed to do an ICO back in the day. Y'all remember when those are popular? And what does that contract say, Alfonso? You were supposed to run an ICO because you told me that you had plenty of other multi-million-dollar VC buddies that were willing to fund it. And how much was I due on that contract? $25 million, I believe. Hope you can afford that one, because I'm coming for you. So that's the one he's talking about. But that's what we entered into the exhibit, was the original. So this is before any of y'all even knew me. We were already, brainstorming the creation of the club. Unfortunately, it was always a scam. He was never going to build it according to what the white paper said. And I'm going to show you all that white paper. Y'all have never seen it. Anyway, so I'm just going to wrap that up for now. It's going to get good. I mean, geez, we're 16 pages in. And yeah, good shit, man. Good stuff, good stuff. So look, there's nothing that I'm going over that's not a lie. I'm just reading. This is the deposition. So it's all good. Yeah, more good shit coming. So as I get energy, it's been a minute. I've been busy trading and making money and doing shit the opposite of what Alfonso's been doing. He's been losing money. Right, Alfonso? I think you got a court date next week, I think, or 2 weeks for foreclosure. Got to pay your bills, dude. You know what I'm saying? So I just haven't had the energy to focus on all this because there's, it's a lot of shit, man. It's a big scam, a lot of money involved. So, but y'all get to come along for the ride now. So just wait for the next video. Y'all will enjoy it. Y'all have a good one.